Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Smashified Trophies. I am Chris, and with me today I have the luxurious Nathaniel Platier.
Hey everyone.
So it's just going to be us today. Omni's not around. Who knows where he is? Maybe he's afraid of ghosts.
Everyone else is just being lame.
Everyone, sure. Who knows? I'm sure they're busy, but it's us, and you're lucky enough to have us, right? And you're lucky enough to have Gengar. What a great choice for a trophy.
Yeah.
Do you know, how are you with Pokemon, Nathaniel?
Oh yeah, I know plenty about it. I mean, like, I haven't kept up with the more recent ones. Diamond and Pearl was honestly my last one that I played. But Gengar was one of my favorite Pokemons because I always like Ghost-type Pokemon. Yeah. So.
Well, who doesn't, right? I think Gengar was one of my favorites too. Maybe it was just because he was super purple. I stopped playing, as I've said in the Sceptile commentary, in the third generation, Ruby and Sapphire. So, Gengar and like all those classic types, really stuck out to me. There was something awesome about the first generation purple Pokemon, I think. Maybe it was just Mewtwo and Gengar that really stuck out to me. He was awesome. Do you remember him in the anime too? Wasn't that?
Oh yeah. I specifically remember the episode with Ash and all three ghost versions of Gengar, and they play with Ash and all that stuff. And I think he actually freaking dies in that episode.
Oh wow, I completely forgot.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
He actually dies and turns into a ghost for one episode.
You are bringing this back to me. Yeah, he dies and he turns into a ghost and hangs out with them, and then he's staring back at them. Wow. That's a little dark.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little dark.
Yeah.
Gengar's a dark Pokemon.
I mean, Pokemon has a lot of dark themes in it, honestly, if you look more into the flavor text and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's definitely some things that are not mentioned by, but they're there. So
yeah.
This is Gengar. This is our second trophy. Surprisingly, there's not a trophy for him. Can you believe that?
I can't.
In the Smash
he's
series.
one of the more popular Pokemon too.
Yeah, for sure. I would think so. So last week because this only took a week. Last week I did a Twitter, just tweeted out, hey, who do you want to see as a trophy, and a Pokemon trophy, because we want to celebrate the new anniversary of Pokemon. And a lot of people said Gengar, and I was like, well, that's a great choice because we feel pretty close about him. I know Sean loves Gengar. Yeah. So I figured I'd do him, and it wasn't a difficult character to really sculpt, but it was exciting, and I kind of learned some stuff too, especially I love these back spikes he has.
Yeah, I was looking at that right now.
Yeah, they're a little so my big deal with this was I wanted to capture the mood of classic Gengar. I pulled up the old artwork done from the original Pokemon series of Gengar. He's got cooler shapes to him. He's got a bigger head, bigger spikes, and they're not soft spikes, they're not rounded, they're sharp spikes, and he's kind of scary, he's got this evil grin to him. And so I really wanted to emulate that with the trophy, as opposed to just making it be a one-for-one sort of the Tekken or the Pokemon X and Y model, which have gotten a little bit cartoonier, if you will.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what's kicked this off and inspired Gengar as being our second episode of Smashified Trophies. It's a little creepy, ghost Pokemon, man.
Yeah, I feel like he's still a really cool Pokemon regardless, but I feel like they've in the newer generations, they've kind of toned him down a little bit to make him more cartoony, which is nice in its own way. It fits the style, but there's something about the actual the subtle actual creepiness to him that made him really appealing in the original games to me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I've always liked. I've always liked this character. It's one of my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, no, totally. The whole Lavender Town was such a mysterious place too, where you first start running into ghost Pokemon, really, in Pokemon Red and Blue. And I remember going through that tower in Lavender Town and finding that ghost, and it's the first Pokemon you see, the ghost there, and you can't catch it. It's the first one you can't catch. And I was so why do they have this Pokemon I can't catch? What's up with this? And then obviously you make your way up the tower, and you eventually reveal the ghosts. You can catch Ghastlies and stuff there. I remember catching a Ghastly, and I wanted to catch that original ghost so bad, but Ghastly was like, whatever, I'll do that as the second best. And finding out that it became Haunter and then Gengar was like awesome. Gengar is such a cool guy. How do you feel about the Mega Evolution of Gengar?
Honestly, like, people are gonna be mad at me probably, but I don't care for it too much. Like, I think this is weird for me to say this, but I think Gengar was already like awesome enough as it is, and I think that there's something about the design that I just don't care for, and I don't know what. What about you?
Well, I think that for me personally, one aspect I don't like about it that maybe you don't as well is that his lower half of his body shrunk, his feet got smaller, and it feels a little counter, what the evolution was going for. It's like a step back because Ghastly doesn't have feet, Haunter has hands, Gengar has feet and hands and the big spiky back. It just feels like he's becoming a bigger person. But then you go to a Mega Evolution and his lower half shrinks.
Yeah.
And I think from a design standpoint, that was kind of a like we should make his fists really big, and what'll make them look even bigger is smaller feet, maybe. But I'm not a huge fan of it.
I think the thing with me is that they took a little bit away of the creepiness factor and made him try to look him more cool, I guess. Which I don't know. I think they were trying too hard to make him cool because it's a fighting game and all that stuff like that. And in the process of that, they lost a little bit of the creepy factor of it, where it's, yes, Gengar is smiley and he's kind of quote-unquote cute, but it's like the creepy cute thing where like it's cute on the outside, but you can tell like there's like evil stuff like underneath all that stuff. So I feel like they took away from that, and that's why I don't care for it as much. But that's just me. That's just my opinion.
The point of this trophy for me personally wasn't just to make a one-for-one Gengar of the Pokemon X and Y. I wanted to really emulate that attitude because Gengar's all about attitude,
Yes.
He's got humor to him. He's supposed to be a dark ghost, sure, but he's also like you can just tell in his expression, like there's something else going on there, but you'll never know what. You don't know what's going on in that ghostly brain of his. This is me starting to sculpt that expression, and it's like, from a sculptor standpoint, just having the face be asymmetrical with attitude, having one smirk bigger, one eye more frown, more browed, it's just cool. I don't know. Gengar's a big face, he's a big face with little arms and legs and awesome spikes. It's just a fun time. I'm not a huge fan of the Mega Evolution, but I don't think they needed it. That's why. I think, like you said, he's already cool enough. He's already, like, mega enough,
Yeah, like, he's just badass. Am I allowed to say badass?
I don't know.
Is that a word I'm allowed to say?
Maybe.
Maybe. He's
sure,
cool.
I guess you could say it, yeah. If not, Omni will come and stop us.
Or I'll just edit myself out again.
Sure. Yeah. Just replace it with something silly like onions. I don't know. So I was talking about how I wanted to emulate the older design more, and I did that in the face. I feel like I really accomplished copying that original art. If you look up the art, it's the same face. I even did the same pose as best I could. But the one thing I didn't change from the newer versions, bringing it back into the old, was the back, because I really like the symmetry of the back. And on the artwork, with his pose like this, with his arms down, he's got spikes coming out on the sides of his arms, but those are his back spikes, and it doesn't really make sense. Like, if you turn that original artwork around to the back, it wouldn't make sense. Those wouldn't be there because his arms don't flare out that far. I kept them further on the back as they are, and just kind of spiked up his upper spikes and kept them big and girthy, and felt it still achieved the look and the attitude of that Gengar.
Yeah, like this.
See how you
I really love this, honestly. This is the first time I've actually seen it, like, I saw like a small draft of it a long time ago, I think, and this is the first time I've actually seen it like this far into it. And I just love it so far.
Well, it's funny you say a long time ago because I literally just did this week.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. No, I do. This is the thing with the Pokemon, where with the Smashified Trophy series, is we want to be able to do these really quickly and have a quick turnaround. I had a super busy week. I would come home and spend about half an hour on this every night, and I was by the 5 nights done, it was finished, and oh god, it's just like how creepy it is.
Yeah.
It's a pretty straightforward process. It was all done in ZBrush, and then I did this part in Keyshot, just rendering it up, making some adjustments. Oh yeah, watching the eyes move back and forth.
Yeah.
It was a ton of fun.
That's nightmare fuel.
Yes. Lovely. So here we are. And this is the Gengar trophy. Lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
He's so chubby. I love him so much. He's like a teddy bear. He's like a lovable ghost teddy bear. Anyway, thanks for being here, Daniel.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, viewers, for tuning into our second episode. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters. We, again, probably wouldn't be doing this without you, or at least this series. You make everything happen, and thanks for watching.
Oh, and we still have our giveaway for Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. That'll be over on Friday the 18th, so take advantage of that. And of course, as always, make sure you like, favorite, comment, share, and subscribe if you have not already. And if you want to, become a patron. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.